They called it a football match, but what unfolded that night felt more like a public unraveling of a nation's soul. July 8th, 2014, Belo Horizonte, Brazil, semifinal of the FIFA World Cup, and the entire planet is watching a host nation step onto the pitch, carrying a century of expectation on its back. Brazil are not just playing for a place in the final. They're playing for memory, for pride, for ghosts that never quite leave. This is the country of Pelé, Garrincha, Romario, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, 5 World Cups stitched into yellow fabric. This is football as identity, football as religion, football as proof that joy can survive anything. And yet, even before kickoff, something already feels wrong. Neymar, the golden boy, the symbol of a new generation, is missing. His fractured vertebrae from the quarterfinal against Colombia have ruled him out, ending his tournament in tears on a stretcher. Thiago Silva, the captain, the emotional anchor, is suspended after picking up a second yellow card. Brazil will walk into the biggest match of their lives without their star and without their leader. Luiz Felipe Scolari, the manager who lifted the World Cup in 2002, stands on the touchline once more, trusted to guide the nation again. He believes in spirit, in history, in the power of the shirt. Across the tunnel waits Germany, calm, organized, ruthless, and almost insultingly prepared. This German side has been building toward this moment for over a decade. Since losing the 2002 final to Brazil, the German FA tore itself apart and rebuilt everything from the ground up. Youth academies were redesigned, coaching philosophies modernized, talent identified and protected. By 2014, the results are terrifying. Manuel Neuer redefining the role of goalkeeper. Philipp Lahm, intelligence in human form. Bastian Schweinsteiger, carrying the weight of experience and pain. Toni Kroos, precision disguised as simplicity. Thomas Muller, chaos with a smile. Miroslav Klose, 1 goal away from becoming the World Cup's all-time top scorer. Joachim Low doesn't shout, doesn't panic, doesn't perform. He trusts the system. The stadium is a wall of yellow, noise bouncing off concrete, drums pounding like a heartbeat. Brazilian fans sing not because they are confident, but because silence would be unbearable. The German anthem ends, the Brazilian anthem begins, and players are already crying. Tears stream down faces before a ball is kicked. It feels less like a game and more like a final prayer. The whistle blows. For the first few minutes, Brazil press wildly. They chase shadows, sprint at everything, desperate to prove that heart can replace structure. Germany don't panic. They pass. They wait. They watch Brazil pull itself out of shape. In the 11th minute, history begins to tilt. Germany win a corner. Toni Kroos stands over the ball, calm as if this is a training ground. The cross comes in. Thomas Muller drifts into space, completely unmarked. No one tracks him. No one sees him. He controls, turns, and finishes past Julio Cesar from close range. 1-0 in a World Cup semifinal against Brazil. In Brazil, the stadium goes quiet, not shocked, just confused. Brazil have conceded first before, and they have always responded. Players clap their hands, urging each other on. Scolari gestures wildly from the sideline. It's fine. It's early. But Germany sense something fragile. They press higher. They move the ball quicker. And Brazil begin to crack. In the 23rd minute, Miroslav Klose receives the ball inside the box. He shoots. Julio Cesar saves. The rebound falls back to Klose. He scores. Goal number 16 in World Cup history. He surpasses Ronaldo Nazario, the greatest scorer the tournament has ever known. Against Brazil. In Brazil. 2-0. The German bench barely reacts. They have rehearsed this moment too many times to be surprised. Brazil, meanwhile, are unraveling in real time. Defenders step forward without cover. Midfielders chase the ball instead of space. David Luiz abandons his position again and again, trying to be a hero. Germany punish every mistake. 1 minute later, it happens again. Toni Kroos wins the ball in midfield. A quick exchange. A low shot from outside the box. It slips past Julio Cesar. 3-0. Before Brazil can even process the last goal, the next one arrives. Cruz again. A give and go inside the penalty area. A simple finish. 4-0. The clock reads 26 minutes. For goals. In 6 minutes. The stadium is no longer loud. It is stunned into disbelief. Some fans stand frozen. Some hold their heads. Some already cry. On the Brazilian bench, players stare into nothing. Scolari looks like a man watching a house burn down with his family inside. And Germany are not done. In the 29th minute, Sami Khedira walks through Brazil's midfield like it doesn't exist. 1 touch, 2 touch, finish. 5-0, 5 goals in under 30 minutes. In a World Cup semifinal. Against the hosts, the scoreline looks fake, like a glitch, like something that will be corrected if you blink. But it's real, and it's brutal. Cameras cut to the crowd. A young boy sobbing, mouth open, eyes empty. An old man shaking his head slowly, as if mourning a loss he always feared. A woman covering her face with the Brazilian flag, the symbol of joy turned into a shield. On the pitch, Brazilian players stop communicating. Some shout, some blame, some simply stop running. Germany, almost mercifully, slow the game down. They keep possession. They pass sideways. They manage the half. By the time the referee blows for halftime, the scoreboard reads Brazil 0, Germany 5. At halftime, in a World Cup semifinal, inside the dressing room, silence hangs heavier than any scream. This is no longer about tactics. This is about survival. Because 45 minutes remain, and an entire generation is about to realize that some wounds never heal. The second half begins not with hope, but with damage control. Brazil returned to the pitch knowing the match is already lost, yet still forced to perform in front of a nation that feels betrayed by its own reflection. Luis Felipe Scolari makes changes, not because he believes, but because something must be done. Polenho comes on. Ramirez comes on. The idea is legs, energy, dignity. Germany make a change too, but theirs feels surgical, almost casual. Andre Skirl replaces Miroslav Klose, the man who has already written his final chapter in World Cup history. The whistle blows again. For a brief moment, Brazil press. They push forward as if pride alone can rewrite reality. Oscar dribbles. Hulk runs. David Luiz continues charging out of defense like a man trying to outrun shame. Then, in the 69th minute, Germany remind everyone that mercy is not part of elite sport. Skirl receives the ball on the left side of the box. He takes a touch. He shoots. The ball crashes into the net off the crossbar. 6-0. The sound is not celebration. It's resignation. Commentators struggle to find words. Some fall silent. Others repeat the score again and again, as if saying it out loud might make it feel real. Brazilian defenders look at each other with eyes that ask a question football has no answer for. How did this happen? Germany don't celebrate wildly. They jog back to their half. They reset, because they know this isn't personal. This is professional. In the 79th minute, Skirl does it again. A quick movement, a sharp angle, a finish driven into the roof of the net. 7-0. 7. At this point, the match is crossed from sport into symbolism. This is no longer Germany versus Brazil. This is preparation versus belief. Structure versus emotion. Modern football versus nostalgia. The cameras stop showing the German bench. There is nothing left to say there. Instead, they focus on the stands. People leaving early. Parents covering their children's eyes. Fans who painted their faces that morning now scrubbing color off their skin with trembling hands. In the 90th minute, Brazil finally score. Oscar dribbles past Lahm and Boateng. He shoots low. The ball goes in. The scoreboard reads 7-1. Oscar doesn't celebrate. He picks the ball out of the net quietly. The referee blows the final whistle. And just like that, it's over. Brazil won. Germany 7. A scoreline that feels illegal. A result that feels like a typo. A match that feels like a betrayal of everything Brazil thought football was. German players shake hands respectfully. Some embrace Brazilian players. Some whisper words we will never hear. Philipp Lahm later says, "We didn't plan for this, but we were ruthless when the chances came." Bastian Schweinsteiger calls it the perfect game. Joachim Low insists they never meant to humiliate. But humiliation is not about intent. It's about impact. In Brazil, the aftermath is immediate. Newspapers print black and white front pages. Pundits search for explanations that don't exist. Former players cry on live television. Luis Felipe Scolari apologizes publicly. "I am responsible," he says. David Luiz faces the cameras, eyes red, voice shaking. "I wanted to give joy to the people, and I failed." The country mourns like it has lost something irreplaceable, because in a way it has. For decades, Brazil believed football was their safe place. No matter the politics, no matter the poverty, no matter the pain, football was where Brazil won. Football was where Brazil smiled. And on this night, football turned its back. The term minirazzo is born, echoing the Americanazzo of 1950. Another wound, another scar, another reminder that history never forgets. Children who watched that match grow up differently. Some stop believing, some stop watching, some swear never to love football the same way again. Meanwhile, Germany move on. 4 days later, they beat Argentina 1-0 in the final. Mario Götze scores in extra time. Germany lift their 4th World Cup. But even that victory lives in the shadow of this match. Because trophies fade, moments don't. Years later, players reflect. Philipp Lahm retires quietly, satisfied. Schweinsteiger becomes a symbol of endurance. Toni Kroos wins everything there is to win at club level. Thomas Muller remains the embodiment of efficiency. For Brazil, the road back is longer. Managers come and go. Neymar carries impossible expectations. The national team wins tournaments again, but the innocence is gone. Every defensive mistake is compared to 2014. Every heavy defeat triggers flashbacks. The 7-1 becomes a reference point for collapse, a shorthand for failure, a warning. And that is why this match broke a generation. Not because Brazil lost, but because belief shattered publicly. Because millions learned at the same time that history offers no protection. That passion without preparation is fragile. That even giants can fall, and when they do, the fall echoes for decades. Football, like life, doesn't care about what you used to be. It only cares about what you are in the moment. On that night, in Belo Horizonte, Germany were ready. Brazil were not. And the world watched belief collapse in real time. This wasn't just a semifinal. It was a lesson about arrogance, about evolution, about how clinging to identity without growth can destroy you, and about how pain, when shared by millions, becomes memory. If you felt something watching this story, it's because football is never just football. It's who we are when the pressure arrives. It's how we respond when everything goes wrong. And sometimes, it's the moment that forces an entire generation to grow up. Subscribe for more stories where football meets truth. Because the next match we tell might not break a nation, but it will reveal something about you.